Good morning, everyone from the Central Coast of California, and good midday to those of you on the East Coast. It's Ariana at Healing the Soul's Voice, and this is Wisdom Wednesdays. And our topic today is unusual ways to connect with nature so you can avoid nature deficit disorder. And this is actually a real thing. It's starting to be recognized that we spend so much time indoors and in front of screens that we can actually suffer from it. Our health suffers, our well-being suffers, our blood pressure suffers, and our whole sense of being a part of our world suffers. And then nature itself suffers. So I'm going to give you 3 tips that have come through for me in my in meditation, my oracular space, that are not the ones you might tend to think of, ways that can help you avoid nature deficit disorder. But let's begin. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for being with us this morning. Let's just begin with our grounding and centering, as we do every time. So I invite you to close your eyes and first just connect with breath. Breathing, feeling that diaphragm move down. Remember, it moves down as we inhale, back up as we exhale, and our belly needs to be soft in order for the diaphragm to do that movement. It actually helps our digestive system. It improves the circulation in all those abdominal organs. So let your belly soften. I know a lot of us have been told by our moms, hold your stomach in, or by our physical therapists, hold your abs in, or our trainers of some kind, hold your abs in, hold your abs in. Not good. Okay. So let the belly soften and be conscious of the breath, and consciously deepen and slow your breath. And then bring your awareness to your feet. And create your imaginal grounding trunk, nice and wide, about around as thick around as your torso, and send it down into the earth, all the way down through all the layers of earth and rock and water and fire, to that molten iron crystal at the very core of Mother Earth, and see it wrapping around that 3 times. And then in your mind's eye, see, and then with your sensations, feel a surge of beautiful, golden, nurturing earth energy rising up that grounding trunk, coming in through your feet, flowing up your legs, up the whole torso, and fountaining out the tops of our heads to create a beautiful golden bubble all around us, at least 3 feet in all directions. And take a moment to just now appreciate that beautiful, nurturing earth energy that you are now filled with and surrounded by through your entire energy fields. And some of you, your energy fields may be a little bigger. You might want it 4 feet out. Choose what distance feels right for you today. And now I invite us to bring our awareness to the center of all creation in the universe. We can think of this as the central sun, or as the cosmic womb of creation, and draw in a crystalline golden white light from there through our soul stars, through our sun, gathering these energies as it comes, and see that then flowing in through the tops of our energy systems, down through the body, out the soles of the feet, to spiral through the earth energy, so that we are now in a crystalline golden bubble of divine mother energy from above and from below. And breathe that in and enjoy this. And remember, you can do this anytime. This kind of grounding is useful and helpful, and it's even great to do before you start driving somewhere, as a way to help you stay safe and protected. Ground your car. So this issue of nature deficit disorder is a real thing, as I mentioned. And it's really important for us to reconnect with nature more consciously, and more often for our own health. So first I'm going to talk about some of the things that would be obvious to you, and then I'll tell you the 3 tips that I have from Spirit for our nature connection. So the first and most obvious one is get outside. Duh, right? And sometimes we can't. And I actually have a beautiful view out my window. So if you have a window that looks out on trees or out into nature, my view that I am blessed with is down over the treetops to the Monterey Bay. So I'm actually looking at the fog over the ocean this morning, over the tops of the redwoods. So I get to look out my window and give myself a kind of hit of nature. Of course, when we go outside, we're actually breathing in the air, and we're actually exchanging air with the trees and the plants because, hi Gay, because they give off oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide, which they take in. So we're actually in a respiratory exchange with plants and nature. And it's a really useful thing to remember that we're breathing them in and they're breathing us in. And that helps to give us this sense of connection. And it can be great if you can put your bare feet on the ground, on the earth. Now, if you live in a city or your feet are really sensitive, sometimes you can't do that. And then another thing that we can do that, aside from getting outside, is to have photos of nature. And Gay, who just joined us, is a fabulous artist who specializes in painting birds and trees, and she does this wonderful, wonderful work. So paintings, drawings of nature, or photographs of nature have actually been shown and proven to lower blood pressure, help people feel calmer and more centered. So if you can't get outside, you don't have a window that looks out onto nature, get yourself some photographs or paintings of nature and consciously use them. Look at them, take your time with them, imagine yourself in that natural place. And of course, that's another thing that we can do is use our imagination. And we're going to do that in just a minute. So the 3 tips that I have for you from Spirit are, the first one is grounding, which we just did, which you can do anywhere at any time. I've even done it in an airplane. You can even make that imaginal connection with Earth from an airplane. And that helps us to connect with Earth and to connect with that deeper level of nature, which is underneath the ground. And so I invite you to use this technique of grounding, even especially when you're inside, and you have to be inside a lot. In addition to having your photos of nature that you can look at, consciously do this grounding. Connect your energy to the energy of Earth. And the second tip from Spirit is to expand our perceptions. And this has been a theme in the full moon oracle messages that I send out to my email list every month, that the guides have been drawing me in to give you this information that we need to keep expanding our perceptions. As humans, we have kind of limited ourselves to our 5 senses, and we tend to say our intuition isn't trustworthy, and our feeling sense, our emotions aren't trustworthy. We have to only trust our mind and our logic. But the truth is that there are so many more ways for us to perceive. And it's really valuable when you do get out in nature to think about expanding your perceptions. So it isn't just the usual way of seeing. It's not just the usual way of hearing. But remember to feel the air, feel the wind. And I mentioned that we breathe each other, the plants and us, we breathe each other. Be aware of that and expand into your intuitive senses. And these are our birthright as human beings. So I have trained myself in my Dove Oracle Priestess training to bring through information through my higher self. And these are just natural abilities that I have trained. And we can actually all do this. And it's learning to see through, see beyond, see under, see behind. And the way we get into this is by beginning to use our intuition, our feeling sense, and our inner knowing. So when you are out in nature, I invite you to connect on this deeper level, on this intuitive level. See what it is that you receive. Open your perceptions to receive more information from nature, and you will come to some very, very interesting connections and much deeper connections with nature and much deeper understanding of nature. There's so much more about plants than we have given them credit for. We tend to think as humans, well, something that doesn't have a brain doesn't have a consciousness. But in truth, plants use a lot of the same neurochemicals, neurotransmitters that we do. And it might be that their brains are in their root systems. So that's another way to expand your perceptions, is to also think into the ground, the way we do when we create our grounding trunk. Extend your awareness underground and see if you can connect with those root structures of the trees and the plants. I've had some very, very rich experiences doing that in meditation. So the third message from Spirit about how to avoid nature deficit when you can't go outside is to create a deep connection with a tree, a particular tree ally or several. I have a bunch. I happen to live in the midst of trees and have glorious, glorious tree allies here that I visit regularly. But we can actually, once we create this deep connection with a tree, we can connect with that tree from anywhere, from anywhere. This is information that I receive from Spirit, and I have done this practice myself. We do this practice in my Wise Woman Immersion program, and the members just find it really, really profound and a wonderful, wonderful practice. So let's do a little bit of a process. So I invite you to close your eyes and connect in, again, with our golden bubble of divine mother energy from above and below, and know and understand that this is the very stuff of creation, this energy that we're drawing up from Earth and bringing down from Mother Cosmos. This is the very stuff of life. It is the energy of creation itself. So know that this golden bubble that we're in is healing and nourishing and protective for us. And as you close your eyes again and breathe into this golden bubble, clearly see it in your imagination, in your mind's eye. And this is one of the talents that we have naturally as beings that we can expand as we expand our perceptions, our inner seeing, our inner knowing. As we begin to work with it and trust it, it grows stronger. So I invite you to imagine a tree that you really love, that you really connect with. And this might be a tree that you used to climb as a child. It might be a tree that's near your home. It might be a very special tree that you were in awe of and admired in a park or a national park somewhere. I get to live in the redwoods here, and so a lot of the trees that I connect with here are redwoods. But we also have a beautiful 100-year-old olive grove behind the house, and they are amazing to connect with too. So any kind of tree can be a wonderful tree to connect with. So clearly bring that tree into a picture in your mind and imagine yourself in front of that tree. And then place your hands on the trunk of the tree. in your imagination. Again, we're using our imagination. This is how we do it. And ask for alliance with the tree. Ask for the tree to become an ally with you. Ask for the tree to become a guide for you. Ask for the tree to become a teacher for you. And with those extra senses that we're opening, as we're opening our perceptions, allow your awareness to sink down into the roots of that tree. We tend to just look at what's above the ground, but connect down into that root system and become aware of how deep and wide and strong it is, and how it goes from thick roots to thinner roots to really fine roots that branch out, and they actually connect with the underground mycelial networks. That's the fungus, the fungi, the mushrooms. Mushrooms that we see on the surface are just the fruiting body of an extensive network underground. And this is a communication network. Trees actually communicate with each other and through these fungal networks with even other species of trees. They exchange information, they even exchange nutrients. So be aware of this and allow yourself to experience that amazing, amazing activity that's going on underground. Open your perceptions to receive this feeling sense and this visual. You might be getting a visual, you might be getting a feeling sense. You might even be hearing words from the tree. However it comes for you is absolutely fine. And if nothing is coming right now, that's fine too. It will come. So as you connect with this tree and its roots, now bringing your awareness back up from underground into the trunk, and have that sense of how the life blood of the tree flows up underneath the bark from roots into the branches and the leaves. And appreciate now that the tree has many, many ways of communicating. Trees also create and release chemicals through their leaves, and these go out on the winds and are carried sometimes very, very long distances. So appreciate that this tree is a being that communicates in many ways. And it can communicate with you as you open your perceptions and allow yourself to receive. You will begin to get information from this tree. And the tree is also a great ally, of course, with our grounding process. So now that you have created this connection with the tree, feel that sense that the tree has agreed to be an ally for you. It's very rare that they don't agree. If you find that the tree is saying no, it might be that you haven't approached it with the depth of respect that it desires, or perhaps there's another tree that's a better ally for you. But in general, they really love to become allies with us. So now that you have deeply connected with this tree and the tree has said yes to you, and again, if it hasn't said yes, then you can do this over again with another tree. And this can be great to do with a tree in person sometime, but you can do it at a distance. Works. It's how the spirit realm works. That's how the subtle realms work. Through this energy of creation, our thoughts go out and are able to actually do things at a distance this way. So now that you have your tree ally, take a deep breath and give thanks and gratitude to this tree and to the web of life that it supports, including us. They give us the breath of life. They give us oxygen. And with this gratitude, know now that you can always connect with this tree from anywhere, wherever you are. Again, even in an airplane. You can connect with this tree through the power of our imagination, the power of thought, the power of these subtle energies. And if you're stuck inside, you can connect with your tree. And that will help you get these benefits that being outside actually gives us. And we do, of course, get greater benefits from actually being outside, but sometimes we can't be. So we have these practices now that we can use to help us when we're stuck inside so that we don't have to suffer from nature deficit disorder. So I'm Ariana Newcomer at Healing the Soul's Voice, and I am the creator of the Wise Woman Immersion Program, which is a very rich and deep and wonderful program. The second cohort is going now, and I will be enrolling a third go-round of the Wise Woman Immersion beginning in the fall. So I would love to talk with you about it. If you would like to talk with me, I will put a link in the comments for you to schedule a time to talk with me on my calendar. I also do private mentoring, and I also do retreat VIP days here where I live with the incredible spirit trees on this property. And that would be a wonderful experience. The women who have done it have been just blown away by how much they receive from the experience with the trees here. So have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and thank you for joining me.